Hey, what's going on? Just gonna make a quick video on marriage advice. Just gonna make three points that that I've learned, and hopefully you can get something out of it. But when you're uh, uh, in a journey through marriage, just want to warn you about to beware of controlling people. People that would they're going to do it like through love, but it's really just to control you, and it's they use it from you know if you're a weak man, uh, they'll use in intimidation, and if you're not so much a weak man, they're going to use manipulation. They're going to they won't tell you, but they'll tell your wife. If it's something that they don't agree with, they're going to go to your wife and they're going to hound her, keep on until she tells you. And then you realize, like, hey, this ain't coming from you. Who is it coming from? And then she'll let you know, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well, you know so this could be your family, this could be your in-laws, and it could even be your pastors too. I got stories on pastors. One of them, if here's a big red flag. If a pastor is just calling your wife or texting your wife, I mean, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be you know vulgar or anything like that. It's gonna be like friends, but that's a huge red flag. He has no business texting your wife. He has no business calling your wife. But this one guy, he was going through stuff, and on the pulpit, he was just like, because I guess some people would kind of tell him, hey, why are you, uh, calling my wife? Well, in the pulpit, he was like, well, if you have a problem with me, calling your wife, uh, get your mind out of the gutter. I'm a man of God. I'm this, and you know, years down the road, he left his wife for another woman. So that's one thing. Another thing, like this pastor, like, he was more cunning. He tried to be our friends, but he would call he talked to Katrina like one on one, and basically said, hey, if kind of like setting us up for like uh, to be separate or divorced, but you're just like, hey, you and your kids always have. He's talking to my wife. You and your kids always have a place here. Let Jeremy find his way. Go to another church, but you and your kids have it. When Katrina told me that, I was just like, nope. Like, because I was praying because I loved him. I loved the church there, but when I was just praying, I was like, like, I felt the Holy Spirit telling me, like, it's time to go. It's going. The Holy Spirit was like, I'm not in this church. It's not the Holy Spirit. It's something else. And I was like, no, it's of the devil. It's of the devil. And I was calling the Holy Spirit the devil. So I prayed and prayed, and just like whenever I found that out, I was like, okay, that's why, because I asked God, I was like, give me a sign, like an undeniable sign. I got any proof. I need proof, because I thought it was the enemy telling me to leave the church, and I left the church, but then when I found that out, I was like, okay, I got you. So there's people that are cunning, and so again, beware of controlling people. It'll be your family, your in-laws, your pastors. It's gonna be a place of authority. And they're just gonna want to control you. So that's number one. Number two is, do not have friends with the opposite sex. Don't do it. Don't do it. I know there's some loopholes. I know it's like, it's uh, you know it's usually like a loophole will be somebody from church. Somebody that's they're just asking for prayer. They're just asking for prayer. Or not loopholes, like at the workplace. And she's my coworker. She's my boss. I got it. But dude, don't do it. Don't do it, because there's like I want to say 100% of the time, either one party or both parties want to be more than friends, you know. Just don't do it, man. You shouldn't call a girl. You shouldn't be texting a girl. Like, I understand if it's work, I understand, but dude, if it grows, just stop it. Just stop it. You know, avoid the eye contact. Avoid that. You know, just don't do it. You know, it's trouble. So, number 2, do not have friends with the opposite sex. You know, and make sure you're the same rule that applies for you applies to your wife too. So it's not just a one-way street. And beware of your friends that say, oh, you know, it's jealousy. It's you know, you need to trust your woman. You need to trust her. No. It's a red flag, dude. Like, don't do it. Don't listen to people that want your wife's number, that want, you know, that saying it's okay. It's not okay. You know, that there's a higher rate of divorce, and I think most of them come through friends, you know, or they start off as friends. So just don't do it. Number 3, it's gonna be the last one, is as for the fellas, be the spiritual leader. You know, rely on the Holy Spirit and not anyone else. You know, for me, like I want to know personally, like, what was the Holy Spirit, because I didn't know His voice. I thought with my mind, you know, I thought my conscience was the Holy Spirit. I was like, I mean, I need to know your voice. I need to know your voice. So, and whenever I prayed and fasted, I was like, God, I need you. You know, I know you're there. You know, I know it's not just written in the Bible. It's, you know, I want a relationship. So speak to me. You know, like, let me know. And then, I'm sure you know the story, but it was after the fast. I did like a fast, and it was very hard, and I was really fat then, so it was really hard. But I just drank water for 3 days, but in those 3 days I was still working, and in the hot sun, and it was bad. It was tough. But after those 3 days, you know, well, during those 3 days, it was day number 2. Yeah, there's like a voice in me said, hey, you know, God's really proud of you. He's really, well, why don't you stop this fast? Why don't you, you know, just, and I knew it wasn't me, and I knew it wasn't God. So, I don't know, like, but after the fast was over, this like weeks after, you know, I prayed, and I said, God, remember, like, during the fast, you know, that voice, you know, I know it wasn't me, I know it wasn't you. It has been like a demonic voice. And then, you know, from within, it wasn't in my mind, it was from within, you know, a voice said, well done. You know, and I knew it was the Holy Spirit. And it was awesome. It was just like the first time God spoke to me, and it's undeniable. So, number 3, get to know the Holy Spirit, know His voice, and, you know, because other people will, I mean, 100%, people will lead you astray. Your pastor is going to lead you astray, no matter who he is. He will lead you astray, you know, because he's not perfect, because he's not the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit will never, ever lead you astray. You know, I know there's good pastors out there, but he ain't no substitute for the Holy Spirit. So, hope this video helps you out. All right, thank you.